Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Footsdaking. As always, thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing. Zach, we were waiting. I won't say waiting, but it's like we didn't want to have this draft conversation too soon because we don't know if we're gonna make the playoffs. You know, Philly did lay an egg versus the Chargers, but it's like, can they lay two more eggs? Possibly, it's possible. But we wanted today to kind of dive into a few needs, a few wants of this team, because right now draft season is looking like it's creeping around the corner. So, with that being said, Zach, before we get into the needs of this team, ranking the needs of this team and like the why behind it, it could be draft, it could be free agency. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm actually excited for draft talk because obviously me and you do a lot of stuff with the draft, but also because it does feel like it's kind of the sweet spot to where the season, it still matters and we get to still talk Cowboys football and like how to make this team better and all of that stuff. But like last year when Dak got hurt and they were absolutely terrible and we felt like we had to do draft content because no one cared about the season. Now we can get both the best of both worlds. But I'm doing good. Cowboys play the Vikings. Me and you are going to talk about that probably tomorrow over on Fansided. And we get the best of both worlds, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah, we get the best of both worlds, Zach. And to be honest with you, like, in my opinion, like, this team has some glaring needs, but it's tricky because where they're going to be drafting and, the slot they're going to be drafting is like, you can't just reach, right? Because listen, at the end of the day, let's say they're drafting top 20, which right now they're slotted at 14. Linebacker and corner sounds great, but what if those guys are off the board? And I'm not going to say it in a crazy way. Like it is what you need, but like I don't know, like you can't just reach because let's say a David Bailey falls or an N falls or people aren't gonna want to hear this, but what's the word? I mean, what's the like? What if a running back falls at like?
Yep.
And people don't want to hear this, but my thing to you is preliminary with this team, Zach. Is it automatic all defense for you, or is it you want the best? You want to get the best player.
It's hard when we've done a couple of drafts together to be like, okay, we need to go all defense because we know how important it is to go BPA. Like if you just go into the draft and go BPA, you'll have the most success. Doesn't matter what position they play. Obviously, quarterback with Dak and stuff like that most likely isn't going to be the answer. Maybe even wide receiver with Pickens and CD, but every other position is kind of wide open. And a lot of the teams that get the best return on their value is just taking BPA. But that also means you have to do something in free agency. You have to fill gaps and holes so you can do that. This team hasn't done it in the past, and you made a really good point, and it's interesting to think about when they drafted Tyler Guyton. Now, he's played much better. He's been much better. But they also took the, 6th, 7th offensive tackle on the board instead of taking the second linebacker or the first linebacker. Like, how deep some of these positions are with linebacker and corner. Like, do you want linebacker 2 or do you want cornerback 5? Like, just depending, I personally, if it can, the draft can turn out to where you get the BPA with the defense would be the best in my opinion. That's what I want to happen. Like, take a lot of the defense. You have your cornerstone pieces on offense. You don't really have that defensively outside of Quinn Williams, and you hope Deron Bland can play better. In my opinion, the best way to go would be defense in the first round, and you just got to hope it falls like that.
Yeah, you expected Diggs to be better or at least play this year. We obviously saw what happened with Brian Schottenheimer coming out and basically saying, like, we expect him to do things the right way. Right now, he's not doing that. That's why he's not on the field. And we crunch some numbers, man. I mean, it's been a disappointment for him this year. It's literally been one thing after the other. This isn't me harping on Diggs. It's the facts. It's been something in training camp. Then, complaining about the defense. Then, the mysterious concussion. And then now this is all while the reps on the field weren't great. So to me, I ranked it early on the Cowboys' needs, and I kind of want you to agree, disagree with me, Zach. I went linebacker 1, but like I said, that could change thinking about the cornerback position as well. So those two are kind of interchangeable. How do you feel about that, Zach? Is it like based on what we've watched, it's literally been, I think at times the pressure, you could say, yeah, but it's been linebacker and corner or corner and linebacker. Where are you at as far as needs? Would you agree with that?
100%. Linebacker has been such a problem for this team this year. That they have guys that can't run sideline to sideline, can't make plays in the flat, can't tackle or read gaps and opening up lanes, and it's just stopping the ground game and the pass game. They don't have linebackers that can do that outside of DeMarvion Overshown, and he's coming off an ACL. I just did a rough draft when we talked about like what this show was going to be about, and I also put linebacker at 1 because of what the Cowboys potentially have and do have at corner. You have Bland. Once again, it's going to be one of those things. We just hope he can play good. But then you have Kalen Carson, who I think has played better this year. I know the injuries have been up and down. Like, is he going to play? Is he not? But he did play better when he's out there on the field. Savone Revel, the same way. Like he's going to have his growing pains. It's going to happen. Coming off an ACL, I have hope there. At linebacker, I really don't have any hope. Like,
Yeah.
Overshown is kind of it, and you really need 5 linebackers on the team. And I know you have, and I have as well. I watched 2 linebackers from this class, and I think they both could change this defense with how they play because it's been so bad.
No, I completely agree. You talk about Overshown, bro. Let's look at what's behind him. I mean, Marist can't get on the field over Murray. I was about to say DeMarco Murray can't get over on the field over Kenneth Murray. Like, that's an issue right there. Logan Wilson. Let me ask you this, Zach. Is it a thing where with Wilson he can't play because he doesn't know the scheme, or is it a thing with Logan Wilson? It's just like, they got him. He's not good enough. I would hope to think it's the first thing, but where are you at with that?
I'm kinda at the he can't run that much anymore thing because
Yeah.
he didn't play on a Bengals defense that's not very good, just gave up 39 to Buffalo. He couldn't get on the field there. They gave up a 7th round pick, so it was just kinda one of those, let's get him in the building and hope he can play, and if he can be just a stopgap player for this year and make the linebacker position serviceable, that would be great, and then we can keep him for 2026, and he makes like $6 million. That would be awesome. I just don't think he can run that well anymore. And that's why Brian Schottenheimer keeps harping on the idea that Kenneth Murray's the dude. He's playing better than you think, this and that. It's because they genuinely don't have another choice. Like who's going to play in his place? Like, I just don't see a linebacker that can do that. And I like Logan Wilson. I think early in his career, fabulous player. Just now, I think that it's starting to catch up with him, just the age and the hits and the position.
Yeah, and then I think what happened to Cowboys fans, and I'll raise my hand included, like, you see Logan Wilson, and then you're like, he looks better than what we have, right? Even on that Bengals defense, but then you're kind of like, is that really where we want to be, or do we just want to upgrade the position in general? Jack Sanborn was a disappointment. It was a lackluster year for that position to the point. I mean, bro, I wouldn't be mad at doubling down at some point. I think Shamar James has some promise, but is it one of these things to where it's like, he's a future starter for years to come? I mean, he was a 6th and 5th round pick, and that's some of where I'm at with this team. Like, let's, especially on the back end, let's stop depending on guys who were 7th round picks, undrafted. Even, Maris was obviously a 3rd round pick, but it was like, he had a specific niche. He's probably really good playing forward. So anyway, moving forward, I went corner 2. Where are you at with that room, Zach? You kind of hit on it, but just, do you think that's right?
I have some hope in the corner position. But you
Okay.
just made a really good point too, with especially the defense this year. I feel like this year is a perfect example of it, where we get into the draft every year, right before in free agency, we say, okay, well, they didn't make a move here, here, and here, and this is what they're betting on. They're betting on Bland being good. They're betting on Diggs being good. They're betting on this guy in their 5th round, 6th round, 7th round picks, some guys that they paid. And that's where they really get into trouble. So I would have no problem if they did take a corner and they say, we don't want to bet on Kalen Carson. We don't want to bet on Revel or Bland. Diggs isn't going to be here. I've also watched a couple of corners from this class that I really, really like. And I would have no problem with the Cowboys potentially taking one inside the top 20. I think it's a position of need. Their corners are not good right now, including the ones that they paid. So if they want to start revamping that position and then maybe bet on Revel or Carson and Bland, but also have that top prospect in the building, I would be 100% for it.
Yeah, that sounds good. And I think that does make a lot of sense. All right, number 3, I went safety. Now, some may say DN. I've heard a few arguments about our quick pressures aren't great, Zach. Some would even say, running back, man, too early for that. How do you feel? Is it safety? Is it DN? Where you at, Zach?
On my rough draft, I promise we didn't talk about this pre-show. Mine was safety as well.
Okay.
And it's not a position that they've heavily invested in throughout the past 20 years. Like the Cowboys don't draft safeties very high. And I think it's hurt them at times, relying on going way back to like JJ Wilcox and Jeff Heath. And like they've never had that dude. And we saw it this year with like Malik Hooker is good and Donovan Wilson has his quirks, but he's a 6th round pick that's making $7 million, $6 million, whatever the contract is. And it hurts them at times. Like they don't have that Brian Branch, that cover guy that can come down, play in the box, and do a number of different things. I honestly, this might sound ridiculous. I'm tired of drafting pass rushers and tackles. Like at some point, you got to start filling these other spots. Like
Right.
how many 2nd round edges have they taken? Unless you get a guy that you really feel strongly about that fell to you, and it's like a unanimous, this guy fell, he's the best pick. Like, I'm just not interested in taking an edge rusher because they just consistently do it over and over and over. And they really haven't gotten that return on investment other than Micah. And funny enough, they didn't even draft him to be a pass rusher. He was an off-ball linebacker when they drafted him. So I would put safety 3rd. I want this team to have that position and that versatility.
Yeah, safety is good. And it's so funny because when you think about what's haunted this team, it's like, yeah, Malik Hooker again, retread, was a 1st round pick, but obviously, you got him because of his injury history, and you still see some of that now. And that was a while ago, bro. Like he was. I can't remember the year that he came out, but it was obviously a while ago. And then now,
2017, I think.
I mean, bro,
2017.
Yeah, he's been in the league for a long time. And then so now you're talking about that, and then everybody else is the pedigree is 4th round, undrafted. I mean, literally 4th round undrafted. I mean, or whatever. No, Donovan Wilson, I think, was 6th round. So
yeah, 6th.
I mean, and he plays like a 6th round pick. Like he has one thing that he does well. He can come up, he can fill, he can tackle, but can't really cover, can't really flip his hips. And you can pay those guys on the cheap because Donald's gonna be where he's supposed to be. He's gonna attack, he's gonna do the things. But with Marquise Bell, it's so funny. Everybody's like, man, Marquise Bell can't cover the middle of the field. It's like, bro, he has limitations to his game. Like, this is what it looks like. So then I finished up. We'll put these in a blanket, Zach. Defensive end, I went linebacker again. I was saying you could possibly double up there. And then running back. Where would you jump on that? I'm going to say this, and I'll let you go. Running back, people are going to say, well, Foots, Ashton Jeanty didn't hit this year. Well, okay, let's look at their offensive line. The Raiders are a mess. But I got to say, if Jeremiah Love is on the board, I know we're not going to talk prospects today, but like, let's say you have Jeremiah Love, Sonny Styles, you're kind of like, this guy looks really good in this offense. So where are you at with that 3 position pairing right there?
I think they got to do the right stuff in free agency. That's
Yeah.
where we can start talking about the running back. I'm actually interested. Like I like as the process goes on, figuring out where these guys are going to get drafted because we were talking last year about Ashton Genty being available when the Cowboys were picking at 20 or in the teens or whatever. He didn't even make it past 4 or 5. So I'm not opposed to taking a running back, but I need them to participate in free agency. Go out and maybe get a corner, a linebacker, a pass rusher, and it's not going to be cheap. Like if that player is any good, they're not going to be $2 million. They're not going to be $3 million. And then I think you can have the conversation about running back, but it goes back to BPA. Like this team has a lot of needs on defense. Let's say they don't do a bunch, and Jeremiah Love is the best player on the board, like the CD Lamb year. Like it's just a glaring bright spot when they pick wherever they pick, and he's there. That's where you just got to supplement in free agency. I wouldn't hate it unless the defense looks identical to how it does right now, and they take a running back.
Nah, I completely agree. Yeah. Personnel wise, I think it would have to be, you would have to make up a lot of ground in free agency. The Cowboys did some of that this year, but it would need to be like, you need to get a real linebacker here, a real safety. And then it's like, okay, you could pair a running back in a corner, you could, or vice versa. And so, but I'm with you. If you're not going to do that, don't get cute. And historically, the Cowboys haven't been like the biggest shakers and movers in free agency. Now they can move some money around this year, especially with some of those contracts and push money back, Dak, a few others. CD, I think CD's money can be touched as well.
Yep.
So they wanted to do that and make a true run at it, Zach. I wouldn't be mad at it, but we just wanted to hit you guys with this one. I know, listen, we are still have hopes for this team to make the playoffs, but we also wanted to have you guys prepared if they didn't and just start the conversation around the draft. So, Zach, do you have any other thoughts on how? And, we will be at the Senior Bowl. We're going to the Senior Bowl. We're headed to the Senior Bowl, and we'll have you guys cover wall to wall. We'll start putting out some names here. I know Zach will probably start putting out some names. We've actually been crunching film, and we did our draft guide last year. We'll probably run something like that this year. So you guys just be ready. Again, Zach, do you have any more thoughts before we go?
No, I mean, just a quick thing about free agency. I think they can find solid players, but they might have to pay a little bit more than they want. But like Demario Davis is going to be 37 years old, played really good football this year. That's a linebacker that you could bring in and actually not be a bridge, but pair with Overshown, and maybe you take a Sonny Styles or a CJ Allen or somebody like that. And we've talked about it. They might get flipped this defense in 1 year. They just have to be aggressive doing it because the offense is so good. So I'm excited about the draft and really excited about the Senior Bowl. But we haven't given up on this team. They just have needs, and we're going to start talking about it now.
Absolutely, man. As always, thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing. It's your boy, Footsdaking. We love you all. We hate to be talking draft this early, but again, I think that we'll have a great one. We have those 2 first-round picks, so let's see how they shake and move. And it'll be here before you know it. So it's your boy, Footsdaking. As always, thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing. See you guys on the next one. Peace.
See you.